Alright everybody, I'm going to tell you now that my internet has been awful this week, so this could be really great, or I could end up having to end really early. So, hi Kayla! So I am going to turn on my computer really fast. I'm going to mute it so I do not see or hear myself, and we will get started. I don't know if you saw the card that I posted with the rainbow on it. I should find it to show you it. I just found the picture. But we are going to, there we go. Now I can't hear it, which is great. Let me see if it's over here. Are you at home tonight, Kayla? It is not one of those. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to show how I made this background because it's so fun. So my team has challenges. I think I've mentioned them before because I just think they're so fun. But they have challenges. On Mondays there is a theme challenge, and on Wednesdays there is a sketch challenge, and then on Fridays is the scrapbook challenge, which I have been a part of leading or hosting the scrapbook challenge before. So last Monday the theme challenge was St. Patrick's Day, and I love St. Patrick's Day because it's Jeff's birthday, but I also love it because it's full of green, which I love. But we don't have any St. Patrick's Day stamp sets, or maybe at least, I think maybe one sentiment out of all of our catalogs are St. Patrick's Day focused. And so I tried to think of something else that you think of on St. Patrick's Day. So I came up with this cute little pot of gold, which came out so much better than I thought it was going to. And I ended up just using, I'll show you. I used this circle punch. It is the 2 1/4 circle punch to create the pot. And what I did was I did one circle in black, and then I trimmed, I don't know if you can tell, there's kind of like a little dent right at the top. I used the circle to punch a little dent in it, and I actually flipped it upside down, and I used it as the base to my pot. Now then, I took a piece of white cardstock, and hi Meg! Then I took a piece of white cardstock and I cut the same size circle out in the white cardstock. And I took our Snail Adhesive and I just put some right along the card. And it's not perfect, but it did what I wanted it to do. So I took the Snail Adhesive and I put it on the cardstock. And then I just put this stuff away so maybe I can find it. Hang on. We have these cute little, I'm not going to be able to find it because I just had it out. Oh, I know where I put it. So sorry. So then we have these really cute, they're called gold glitter flakes, which they get everywhere, but they're so pretty. So they look like that, and they come in this little container. And so after I did Snail Adhesive on all of the parts that I wanted to be sticky, I just dumped the glitter flakes over it, and I kind of smushed down some of them. Some of them are still raised to look like coins. So it came out so cute. And then I took our Myths and Magic set that I used for the Valentine's a few weeks ago, and I did gold embossing on some vellum so that you could still see through to the rainbow. Yeah, she would, but you would hate it. I'm sure Riley would love it, but they get everywhere. And I'm still finding them in the laundry, and this was only a week ago, So I'm sure it will just keep happening. So I'm going to show how I made the rainbow because it was so easy. And so I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to cut up some watercolor paper. But I think that it is so fun. And you could use the rainbow for so many different things too. So I'm going to flip the camera around if I can figure out how to do this without shaking you all over the place. Yes, Cody would hate it too. Okay, so I'm gonna flip so that you're not like, because that would be awful. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard not to shake you all over the place. Okay, so there we go. So I'm gonna scooch this. I'm gonna move my tripod over here. These are what I'm using for our rainbow. So I'm gonna leave those sit out here, and then I'll leave this in the frame just so that you can see what we're working with. And I'm going to try really hard to answer your comments off of the computer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out our watercolor paper and I'm gonna cut it down in a size for a card front, kind of like the size that I have here, because then I can just, I haven't designed a card for it yet, but that way one will be ready. So what I do typically is I will take the watercolor paper and I will cut it at 4 inches. That's a little bit smaller than a card front is. Oh, hi AJ. He's so cute. I miss him. We'll have to FaceTime soon because I am going through withdrawals for sure. So see, look, there's another one. I'm finding them everywhere. So I cut it at 4 inches, which is a little bit smaller than the size of a card front, but it gives me the ability to make a border around it with another kind of cardstock. So we are going to cut it at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And that will give us a little bit of give for a border. So now that I have my card front, what I'm going to do, now this is going to be, it's going to go way quicker than you think it is. So what I did is I took all 5 colors of the Brusho and I did them in order of red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Now, I'm going to tell you that they have different names for them, but they get butchered all the time, and this is really what they are. They're red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. So I'm going to scooch this over so that it doesn't make a complete mess. I will tell you that Brusho is very messy. Also, like the glitter, very messy, but in a contained environment, and I have really helped by putting a push pin in right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do them one color at a time, and then I will add the water. So this is what is so crazy. You're going to barely even be able to see it, and I'm probably shaking the table by doing that. So sorry. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to shake, 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 shake. Just along the edge, and you can barely see it, right? So that is the red, and a little bit of powder goes a very, very long way. So you don't need any more than that. So I'm going to take the pin off by not touching the table this time and hopefully not shake you all over the place. Now I'm adding the orange, and I am just shaking it right next to where I put the red, and it kind of looks like dust, like a colored dust. It's really, really fine powder, which is why I use the push pin instead of opening them per the tab, because a little bit of movement and it gets all over the place. So that is the yellow. And then I'm going to put my little push pin back in there. And then this one is the moss green. And the moss green, compared to the other ones like Brilliant Red and Gamboge, which is just a really, really bright orange, but it has some red flakes in it as well. The green has a little bit of yellow and it looks almost brown when the water hits it. But it is, you'll never get the same color twice. Like the card that I did here is not going to look the same as what this one will, because the color reacts differently every single time that you use it. So that's the moss green, and this one is the Perusian blue, and this one, it has a little bit of purpley shades to it. Oh, that one's going to be really dark because that hole is a lot bigger, it looks like. So I'm going to put these in here just because that'll be out of the way. And then what I do is I take our Aqua Painter, and it looks like I'm frozen, so I'm going to refresh my screen. And, okay, you ready? This part's the cool part. So I'm going to start from the red and work my way to the blue, because as you can see in the card, it's okay that they bleed into each other. So I'm going to squeeze down to get some water in my barrel, and then I'm going to just kind of brush, hence the name Brusho. I'm not sure if that's how they got the name, but that is what it says. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue to go down into the orange from the red, and I'm really sorry if I'm shaking you all over the place. And as you can see, I'm going into the yellow from the orange, and it just goes so easily from that orange. And now we're gonna go really soft, and you can kind of see even some blues in that green. So I'm gonna squeeze some more water into the barrel, and oh, it says I have 4 people watching. That's fun. So then it goes straight into the blue, and it'll get darker as we go. So I'm gonna, it'll almost kind of look like a midnight blue at the bottom. So I'm gonna take some of those crystals and work them into the bottom. And what I did when I made the first one is I let it sit to dry for probably 30 minutes. Hi, Cody. Look at this cool rainbow I just made. Maybe I should get some for Rye. She would go crazy. It would make such a mess. So, because it kind of buckles, the paper will. But you can go back over to kind of like lighten some areas. You could put in some more if it didn't get quite as dark as you wanted it to. But it seriously is like the easiest thing ever to get a rainbow out of that stuff. And I barely used any of it. Like, this stuff is gonna last me forever. Okay, so now I would let it dry, but that is how I did the background. And it almost is close. Like, the yellow is probably a little bit brighter than the orange, but it's pretty close to it. So that's fun. And that went way fast. So I could do like several of these in no time at all. So we could either use this on a card and just come up with one, or I could put it aside and try something else, which is fine too. Let me see, because it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. Do you have any suggestions, anyone who's still here? Because it doesn't tell me who is still here. It says 2 people are with me, but it doesn't say who. Oh, Riley's watching. Awesome. Hi, Ry. You like the rainbow? Isn't that fun? So maybe Riley should pick another color, or what colors does she want me to try putting together? And I'll do another one. How about that? A little bit more interactive tonight. So I will cut another card front. Oh, he likes the buttons. Okay, Riley, you want to pick some colors? We'll try it that way. So I'm going to cut another card front. And that one will be 4 by 5, which is totally fine because I will make that work. So we'll see if Riley has any color suggestions. Anything with blue, and she says red. Okay. So how about we do a blue fading to red, because that would be really fun. I'm going to switch paper so that since that powder is so fine, it is super easy for it to still be scattered on the paper and bleed into a different card. So we are going to do, all right, we're going to fold that one in half, and we will do, if I'm out of the frame, I'm really sorry. We'll move it forward a little bit. Is that better? Perfect. Okay, so let's do from one side red to the other side blue. How about that? So you just see that tiny, tiny little hole. That is where the powder is coming out. Oh, Ray. That fever, it just hasn't left you guys alone. You guys have been sick a lot. I hope she's feeling better soon. All right, so I'm going to shake it up. If you could see the weird hand motions that I'm making with this hand while I'm shaking, it's really funny. Okay. So I'm going to loosen up that powder. You can't even hardly see it. And then we'll do blue on half too. Okay. So that is the red. And then we are going to go with the blue. This blue is so pretty. And we're going to work our way. And the blue comes out way quicker. Oh, I need to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Oh, excuse me. All right, so that blue, since it comes out so much faster, we will do that. So we're gonna do, let me see, make sure the different colors are out of my Aqua Painter. This was one of the best investments ever. I'm pretty sure that for 2 of them, it was like $17. But it's refillable. You just twist the cap open and refill it every single time. So it's the best. So I'm going to put some water into the barrel here. And then I'm going to use the top to do the red. We'll see what kind of purple we get in the middle. Wouldn't that be fun? It's kind of a dirty purple, but we'll see. We'll pull some red down. Okay. We'll go down into our blue. And then after we're done with this one, I can show you another way to use the Brusho. I think I did when I first got it. Might do a little bit more blue. It's going to be on my finger. All right, what do you think, Riley? The red's pretty. Should we do a little bit more blue? I just wipe it so that it's clear, Meg. So it is literally like the water will keep coming through. So it'll kind of look stained. But as long as it's brushing clear, it is good to use on any other color. Okay, so we'll just put some more blue into that bottom half. And like this kind of brush reminds me of the kind of like cheapo paint brushes that come in the little paint containers, except it's one that you reuse over and over and over again. And the water is right there in it, so you are in more control of what water you have, and you don't have to dip into the water and dip into the water. So it is super, super easy. Does she think that looks blue enough? Sorry, I had to wipe my nose. And see, look at how fast the other one is flattening out. So that shows you a little bit of how long it takes to dry. And it is not that far off of the color that I did for the other one. So pretty close. So fun. Oh, good. Hi, Rhonda. Okay, so how about, ooh, I think I know what she would like. We are going to use my Big Shot and shake the table up all kinds of crazy. And we're going to do a heart in the center of this. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so we'll let Riley pick out from this one. Let me see. These framelits are called Sweet and Sassy framelits. And that heart would be really, really cool in the center of it. So I'm going to see how long it takes to dry. This one would be really pretty in that one too, but how about we cut the heart out of the center of that? What does she think? We'll be a little bit more interactive today. Since I was not super prepared, I opted for my Saturday nap or my Sunday nap instead of planning a card. We came home from church and I had bought the movie Coco that just came out, and we did not get to see that one in the theater. And so none of us had seen it out of all 5 of us. So we, instead of going straight to my Sunday nap, which is what I would have normally done, we all stayed up to watch the movie. And I still really wanted my Sunday nap. So as soon as the movie was over at about 3 o'clock, I went and took a nap for a little while. So we are going to cut out this heart. I'm going to pull over my Big Shot, and I'm going to try really, really hard not to shake you all over the place. So I'm going to set it down right here, and you're going to kind of see on both sides just a little bit, and I'm really, really sorry if you get dizzy, because that is the way it goes. So what I'm using is this white one is called a magnetic platform, and I have my precision base plate on the top of it. The precision base plate is not used necessarily for a lot of simple framelits or dies like this one is, but I have been using mine together for a long time. And I am going to warn you that my clear plate is very, very used and very loved, because I am going to use it until this split continues to go through, because they just still work. I don't have to worry about it. So it will make sounds. That's supposed to happen. But we're just going to run this through my Big Shot, and that, it's going to knock things over off my table. I have been working on design team projects for the end of March, and so I had everything covering the table. Okay, so that is all the Big Shot work that we will do. And that cut out our little heart. So pretty. How about we make a card with it? So let's see. How about a blue card background, Riley? Since you love your blue. Let me see if I can find one. I think this blue is not quite the shade we want. So I'm going to opt for, how about, let me see if I have some navy. If I don't, we'll see. I think I might be out of the darker. So maybe we will use, I'm really sorry if you can't hear me. I'm digging through my paper. Let me see. I don't think I have that kind. So let's do a white. And we are going to, oh, I'm so sorry. I just bumped the table again really, really bad. Okay, so we're going to take this Whisper White cardstock and we are going to cut it at 5.5. And that is just taking an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and cutting it in half. And then I like to score, which my stamping, my cutting pad has 2 blades. The dark gray, hi Dave, is for cutting, and then the light gray is for scoring. So that helps when you're folding the card, so that it folds a little bit more down there. All right, so let's use this on here. And let me see if I can find, I think I have red. That would look really cute. Let's see here. I think I found some red that will match. Not that it really has to match, but thank you. Look at this one. I was showing how I made this St. Patrick's Day card. At least the background. This other part takes quite a bit longer, but the rainbow is super easy to make. So I just showed how to do that. So you'll have to catch it in the replay. So I'm grabbing out, let me see. I don't know if this is the right shade of red either. That's one thing with the Brusho, is that the colors are not identical to our Stampin' Up! Colors. So it is a little bit more difficult to pair together, but nope, that one won't either. So we are just gonna wing it today. See if we can find a color that we like. Let me see if I have navy in this one, because I think navy would be really, really pretty. I do! I have navy. Would navy work? Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to cut a little bit of a border with the navy, at least to go around it. We'll slide that aside, and I think we're going to just use the heart part because that's so cute. So I'm going to cut this at 4 because I'm using a 12 by 12, and that way I can get more cards out of it. So then I'm going to do this at 5 1/4 to be our frame around our card here. And so I need to replace my blade. It likes to give me little fuzzies. So that'll be on our white card. And then we are gonna put that there. And I think we could do, oh goodness, this is the hard part. Figuring out what stamp I want to add to it. Hello, Tinker. I wish I could flip my camera super simple, but Tinker has climbed up in the chair with me. Okay, just bear with me for a minute while I find, I think we might use this one. Okay, she's gonna climb up on the table. See, she wants to be right here. I'm gonna put her back down. Okay, so we are gonna use that. What do you think of that colored together? Does she like that, Megan? Let's do some ribbon. I'm gonna find some ribbon to put through the background because I have some really cool navy ribbon. This is part of my creative process. Are you so happy you get to join? That this is how I contemplate through whatever I'm working on. All right, so we're gonna use this really fun ribbon and we're gonna put it around behind it, and then we'll put the bow in the front. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get the Big Shot out again because I have an idea. So we're just gonna put some Snail Adhesive, and this is all on the fly, so I'm making it up as I go. Did not have a plan for tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Snail Adhesive to put down this Night of Navy. Oh good, you're curious how I do it. Well, this is pretty much how it goes. Usually I start with the cardstock, and what I just did is not exactly what I would have done. So we're gonna improvise because I wanted to put the ribbon down first. And you know what? I'm gonna leave that and I'm gonna recut it because I can, and I have the pieces right here, and I did it not exactly how I wanted to. So welcome to the process. So again, I'm gonna cut this at 5 1/4, and then I've got my other piece of my Whisper White cardstock right here. So before I put the Snail Adhesive on the back of this Night of Navy cardstock, I am going to add my ribbon because that is what I meant to do in the first place. And that makes way more sense to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my snips, and I'm going to just snip that ribbon there, and I'm going to put it down the center because I want it to go behind our heart there, and I'm just going to take a piece of just regular tape there, and now I'm going to put it on here. So I'm going to use my Snail Adhesive, and I'm just going to go across the back of the ribbon. It isn't going to mess with it at all. And then down the center a little bit. And since this one is not scored yet, I can score it afterwards, or I can just take my bone folder if I can find where it is. Nope, I can't, so I'll just score it now. My table is covered in all kinds of things for my design team projects, so not everything is easily found. So I'm taking the lighter gray and I'm just scoring it. That way my card will fold. And then what I'm gonna do is shake you all over the place. Is I'm going to take the heart and I'm going to pop it up with Stampin Dimensionals, and I just got a brand new pack. So I'm going to open that up, and I'll just show you how amazing this is. So one pack is $4 for Stampin' Dimensionals. It comes with 300 little pieces, and they go like, they last me so long. And I use all the outside around it as well. So you really have more than 300, but this is one of my top favorite things that Stampin' Up! Has in their catalog, and I know they will never get rid of them because they're everybody's favorite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backings off of this heart, and before I do anything with it, I want to add this silver metallic thread because it's the best, and I use it all the time because it just adds a little bit of sparkle to your projects. So what I do is I hold it in my hand and I just wrap, and I'm going to try really hard not to make you dizzy. Wrapping, and I probably do like 6 or 7 times around because I feel like it's so much easier to see it on your card if you have done that. And so then what I do is I just pinch kind of where I have the 2 trimmed edges, and it'll get all kinds of crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay it across, and it'll catch on those dimensionals, and it's going to like stick out the side of our little heart. So cute. Okay, so that is the beginning of the card, and I have an idea, so we're going to go with it. I have to find the framelits for this set, but it's going to say Amazing You, because that card would work for anyone. And maybe, if I remember, I can stick it in the mail tomorrow for my Riley girl, since she picked the colors for this. So let me grab my framelits for that card, because they were put over. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get the red in that for our amazing. So what I'm going to, oh, it's not big enough, but I think I have a piece that is. And then if Dave's still watching, he can see what it looks like to just do the red for this thing. Okay, are you ready? I did not think it was going to go this crazy tonight, but I'm glad that someone is here watching me. All right, so we're going to use the red, and we're going to go on our watercolor paper again. And this time I'm only going to use the red. So I'm going to take the Brilliant Red, and I'm just going to shake, shake, shake on that card with the Brusho. And then I'm going to put my pin back in the top and make sure that I have no more blue. Not that it would really matter, but just in case. The red will probably overpower it anyway. And did you see what I just did? I put the lid on the end because it's cool like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more water down. I'll show you the other technique probably a different day since we're making a full card. But what I'm doing with this one is I'm just going to take the red, and we're going to go over the whole piece, and then we're going to let it dry since we want to run it through the Big Shot. So I'm just going to run this clear. I'm probably going to need another piece of paper to get it to be clear, but that's all right. I can do that later. The water comes, it's super easy to do that. So because this is a smaller piece, it probably will not take us as long for it to dry. And so I'm going to pull out the other Thinlit. So these Thinlits are really cool because they are a part of the Sale-a-Bration, which is happening until the end of March. So this is the first time that our Sale-a-Bration catalog has had Framelits in them at all. And this one just happens to coordinate with this stamp set, which is also in the Sale-a-Bration catalog. So the Sale-a-Bration catalog has probably 15 or so different items in it. And this year they also have 2 different price points to earn from. And so this one, the stamp set, if you were to spend $50 in my online store of any items that you wanted to put in there, you wouldn't have to do specific things. But I will tell you that the Brusho is $30. So if you got Brusho and some watercolor and your Aqua Painter, you would have a qualifying order to get a free Sale-a-Bration item until March 31st. So this one is free with a $50 order, a $50 qualifying order, and then this Framelits set is free with a $100 qualifying order, and that's any product that you have. So I think I do have a link on my page, but I can post it in the comments after the video is done. But I mean, if you got the Brusho and the Aqua Painter, that purchase alone is going to last you months because of how condensed down they are. So I'm just going to let this dry just a couple more minutes, and I'm going to move out my grid paper and put up my Big Shot again. So we're going to move the Big Shot up here, and so that just gives you a little bit of an idea what you can get with an order right now. And that is something that only happens once a year for Sale-a-Bration. So it's my favorite time of the year. So what I'm going to do now that we've given, I'm really sorry, it's shaking me all over again. I'm going to stick our red with the Brusho, and I'm going to put both of our Framelits. This says amazing and this says you, which I will tell you something really cool about that if you flip it over, like if you cut that out and then you use the reverse side of the U, you can trim off the U right there and it will spell joy. I saw that on a page and it was really exciting. So every time I look at that U, I think of it. So of course that's an exciting thing. So we're just gonna run it one way or one time through this way, and then we're gonna go backwards since they're words, and I'm really sorry that it's shaking you. One of these days I will have a tripod that does not attach to the table and we will not have that issue anymore. So I'm going to move my Big Shot again, and we are going to finish putting together this cute card for Riley. Okay, so now we are going to punch these out, and that is so easy. I don't think I have my poker out right now, but I can get it. So this is a paper piercer, and they are super handy for these really tiny projects. So I'm just gonna tap that out. So the U is gonna go here at the bottom, and then we are going to get this amazing that we punched out, and we're gonna peel. And because we ran it through 2 times, the middles of the letters are just gonna like fall right out. I didn't even need that. So what we are going to do is we are going to adhere the amazing on the top so it's sticking out over it, because that looks awesome. Oh my goodness, Riley, I'm so excited. It looks so fun. Maybe I'll have to put it in the mail in a card tonight so that I don't forget to send it to you. All right, so let me grab out my Tombow Mono Glue, which is liquid adhesive glue. It is kind of like an Elmer's glue, except better because it holds crafty things longer. I will tell you that I have not used it in a long time because I have not been using things with tiny, tiny pieces recently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Tombow and I'm going to go over, I'm just going to kind of spread it. Hopefully I'm still in the screen because my computer has frozen. So I hope you're with me. Are you still with me? You can let me know. I refreshed the screen, so hopefully you're still here. So I'm just doing the middle because it's going to overlap on this. So the cool thing about this glue is that it's going to dry clear. So even if it comes over the sides or through the A or whatever, it will dry clear. So you're gonna see it, but it will dry clear, so it's all right. So that is gonna be where the Amazing goes. And then we're gonna use it down here on the U as well. And we're gonna put that down here. And the reason I like the Tombow Mono Glue is that it kind of gives you a little bit of time to maneuver where you want it to go. So we are good with that, but I think that even though we have some silver thread, that I still should put some rhinestones on it. What do you think? Should we still put some rhinestones on it? So we're gonna put that down. So how about a few rhinestones on our heart? Okay, so we're gonna take that rhinestone up off on our little paper piercer, and we're gonna put one there. And how about I have one smaller one, which we'll flip it over right there, and we'll do one more down. How about down there? Okay, there it is. What do you think? When it dries, you won't be able to see that little bit of glue, but I think it came out so cute. Here, I'll raise it up a little bit. So cute. And that heart has the perfect little blend of red to blue. So I hope you like that. That was so fun. Thanks for your help tonight, Riley. I hope your fever goes away and that you start feeling better. So Auntie will write in your card and stick it in an envelope tonight. So hopefully it will make it to your house this week. Since no birthday cards got sent out this year. I'm glad you guys like it. It was super on the fly, but that's how it works sometimes. And that's okay. Sometimes it's better when you don't have a plan and you just kind of go with the next thing and the next thing, which is kind of how most of my cards come together. I can't show all of my projects that I worked on yesterday with you because I need to post them on my team page first. And so those projects you will not get to see until the end of March or probably even the beginning of April, because I think my day that I chose is the 29th. But this is the one that I can show you that I made yesterday, that I used the, oh goodness, they've just, oh, Stampin' Blends, that's what I used to color this, and that was for another challenge. This was the sketch challenge, so it had a background, and then it had 2 squares here with a sentiment here, and then 3 circles with things here. And so the sketch challenges are so fun, and sometimes I just don't know where to go and when I start making a card, and so it kind of prompts me, or kind of gives me a little nudge of what direction to go with, and then I kind of have the same process as I did tonight with figuring out what I come up with. So I take that little sketch and then make a card off of it. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, everybody. And I'm going to keep trying to be here at 8:30 on Sunday nights to either make a card or work on a project. Maybe we'll do a scrapbook page sometime. Kind of depends on what I have together. But hey, Meg, you could be artsy too, because this was stinking simple. So it just, I mean, if I'm making 6 to 8 cards a week, sometimes it just kind of comes out. And there are definitely days when I do not feel super creative, and I still manage to come up with something. So you could do it. It's super easy. But thanks for joining me, and I'm going to sign off now. So love you guys. Bye-bye.